documenting this. It's January 15th, 2024. Um, Yesterday was one of my close friends' birthday. Actually, two of my close friends' birthdays, and they born on the same day. I just really realized it last week, but it's Capricorn season, so Capricorn is a sign that's close to mine, but we are all different, and I believe in astrology and the way that things align and how magic can happen, fall in the universe and all that kind of stuff. But I ain't gonna get too deep into that. But I'm just letting y'all know. Look, no haircut. I ain't even get a shape up, do a shape up on myself. None of that. Um, I'm just rocking out. Trying to say, like I'm saying, I'm trying to get the Climb 3 done at this point. I'm going through a lot with picking songs, moving songs, changing songs, deciding what to keep, not to keep, and in the process, yesterday, like it was like a beautiful experience that I could say, and we was just kicking it, and I said I'm gonna hop on my homegirl live. I get on there. My homeboy that I grew up with, that's a little older than me, he was on there, and then my other homeboy, he hopped on there, so we all kicking it. So the live go from being Andy talking in the main live, and then my homeboy Telly, he in the other live, and then my man Russ hop on there, and then I come on there. So it's like all four of us in the four windows or the four panes, and I just looked at it like it was a crazy thing. You know, we parallel all these things, right? So my homeboy, he worked for Pepsi, so then he was talking about how Pepsi, how they are to Coke. And I was like listening to it, and you know what I'm saying, at first we was just joking and laughing, but everything is like that, right? You gotta look at it. We take Ether and we take Takeover, and we just been going back and forth for years about which one is better, but at the end of the day, it's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying, these two people, Nas and Jay-Z, made it so that competition became something cool. If it wasn't for Coke and Pepsi, people wouldn't have jobs, people wouldn't be able to flourish in society or whatever, and move and be able to do stuff for their family. So what we was talking about was just like, yo, everybody was being vulnerable, talking about like hard times, and because we all grew up together in some way or sort, even though I'm a little bit younger, I wasn't really that much younger, depending on who I was around or the groups of people, but by me being a little bit younger, I kind of learned a lot of things, and I had short routes and detours, so I didn't have to veer off too far out of the way, sometimes, as far as my path. But I feel like, growing up, I think a lot of times when I was looking at some of the other people that was on the live, and I grew up with them, not to say it was them, but it just make you feel like when you hit a mark, and people feel like you made it a little bit, or they feel like you did something with yourself. I feel like some people, not my folks that I really know like that, but some people don't really think you gonna make it. So when they see you, they give you a different kind of handshake. They don't give you the dap like, yo, what's up, blah blah blah. Like, they see you all the time, they give you that handshake like, yo, I need you to be around. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta appreciate that. So anybody that's around right now, you 40 plus, man, go to the doctor, go get yourself checked out, get your physical, whatever it is, because you know what I'm saying, we lost too many people in these last few months. I know I did, and what it did for me is, I know y'all used to me, I hit a plateau with music. I hit a plateau with a lot of stuff, and I just felt like it was nothing else I could do, and I needed some change. And I started going through this change maybe sometime in like 2006, 2007, and I decided to move on and not be in a group. But then for like a 10-year period, I just felt like nothing was happening, and it was just like I was making music, but I wasn't in a focus or a directed place, and I just was hopping around trying to figure out. I mean, I was still making good stuff and here and there, and I would put in the albums that came out between probably 2007 to probably about 2012 were good. They were good. And I had some good mixtapes in there. But I ain't hit my pinnacle mark till probably 2015. By the time I hit Rap for Breakfast and Free Lunch, that's like the pinnacle of where it is. And people want to talk to you about like different things. They want to say like, oh yeah, that's not necessarily a high mark or a plateau for people to compare it to, but people have to remember, when you are early adopter things happen for you at a different time. So it's things and times in my life that are at a bar where I don't feel like it's as high enough, but other people don't think those pinnacles and marks are high. People forgetting about all the things that happened before 2014 and 2015. So they basing it all off of, you rapping on the radio, or they remember you in school. They don't know about all of the things that you did in the 10 or 15 years outside of that. And I don't tell everybody everything. So for me, getting on the camera is a lot. Like I told you, I live in a Peter Parker type world, Clark Kent world for so long that now I just don't even care anymore, that I don't have to display everything. I learned a long time ago, you don't have to tell everybody everything you're doing for people to understand that you're working or that you're doing something. So with that being said, just earlier I realized yesterday that when you don't tell people what's going on with you, and people see you smiling, people see you doing good, they see you looking good, like you in shape, you got a smile on your face, they don't even know all the things that you sacrificed to make it. And my friends just telling me the stories, we up there laughing, we can talk and be enjoy about it now, because we came from a place that, we just made it. Our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles got us to where we need to be so that we can be better for our kids. And we still not necessarily struggling, but we just making it too. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just doing things a little bit better, a little bit shorter ways, and we figured the route out. And you know what I'm saying? We can live through it and tell it because we really grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? So we only really one generation back from living in poverty for real. Like, our generation before us lived in poverty. They shared one meal together. You know what I'm saying? So if your family ate liver, your parents had 8, 9 brothers and sisters, they sliced the liver. They didn't get 8 or 9 pieces of liver, or like how now, you know what I'm saying, our kids eat steak, they eat red lobster, they eat Fridays, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that we take for granted. And females talking about they want to go on dates that's $200 and $300, and you ain't even been around a person that long, you know what I'm saying? So it's not to knock it, it's just to say that, are you of that value? What are you giving to the world, or what are you giving to somebody else other than yourself? People got to think about that. And that's what I was listening to in the conversation that we had. So in the midst of me fasting, and in the midst of me not eating between 6 and 6 p.m., I be so much more in tune with what's going on in my brain, and being creative in that time period without writing anything down. And I realized how sharp it's made me. And like I said, I try my best to not get jaded from social media. I love it. I love every aspect of the positive things. But one thing, and I said I was going to say this before I take my next hiatus, because I basically fast from 6 to 6 throughout the week, and then I basically turn it off and tune out of social media. So if anybody been sending me messages, I still check them on the weekend, because at this point I can't afford to not use my social media, because it helps me get where I need to be as far as getting my DJ gigs. It's helped me get my features on my songs, when people want to get beats or people want to collab and do stuff or whatever it is. Whenever I would take these fasts and these mental breaks, people would be like, "Oh, man, what happened to you? Where you at?" And I would just say, like, "Yo, I'm relaxing. I don't want to know what's going on in the world unless it's something super important and I catch it on TV or something like that." So I had to chill. I just had to do that for myself. So in no way, shape, or form is this a podcast. This ain't no PSA, none of that. This just me giving you real facts, real life, and in real time, that basically I've been doing this for probably 5 or 6 years, and people didn't even know it. I believe I started in 2017, so this might be my 6th or 7th year. I think it was one year I didn't take one because the prior year I missed a wedding gig, but I ended up being at the wedding, so it worked out better, and I had to DJ, so I really wanted to enjoy myself. But with all that being said, man, I can't really tell you every little piece of my goal, my journey. I can just give you little parts of the climb, and even in that today, I just had to be quiet and listen, because my hardships and my hard times might not be nothing to somebody else who really been through it. And when I was listening to everybody else's, I'm not saying I don't got some hard and tough ones, but ours are all in different ways. People might not think that just because they see you look a certain way, or they see you going somewhere, they see you doing certain things, don't mean that it was always like that for you. And if you listen to the music, I always was telling the same thing to other artists that you think that's on a higher platform, on a bigger scale, talk about. I was doing it way before. But you know what I'm saying, by me doing it way before, that doesn't mean that, you know, mine doesn't exist. It just puts them in a different light. And I just want you to know, like, if the light ain't shining on you today, the light might shine on you tomorrow. But we can't pick and choose when the light shine on you. Sometimes the light might not ever shine on you. But what you got to do, you got to stay focused. You got to stay low and just stay aiming. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared to fire whenever that time or that magical moment happens. And just don't give up. All I can say is, you know, just be the force. You know what I'm saying? Be that thing that keep people moving, and you know what I'm saying, keep that engine churning, keep that thought in the back of your mind and turn it into something. And stop worrying about what other people think as far as like how they perceive you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is all, you know what I'm saying, noise. Stay away from the noise, stay focused, keep your eyes on what's in front of you. Things that happened in the past don't necessarily wipe away or go away, but if you can't see what's in front of you and you just keep looking behind you, you're just going to live so far in the past that you're never going to be able to move forward. So take that with a grain of salt. I'll see y'all next week when I touch base with y'all. I apologize. I just couldn't do freestyles this week, and because I'm working on my album, my brain is in a different place. You know what I'm saying? My brain got all these little mental compartments. And I'm going to talk to y'all about the compartments in your brain and all of that kind of stuff that I read about, you know, a while ago. But I'll break that down to y'all later. But in the meantime, the Climb 3 is coming. For all those who got the Climb 1, Climb 2, stay locked in. Hit my YouTube page, J Pero Films. I think it's J Pero Forever, like my Instagram page. And you know what I'm saying, make sure you cop the merch from VintageLuxury.com. And man, like I said, I appreciate everybody. You know, happy birthday to all my folks that's Capricorns this week. And you know what I'm saying, stay tuned. You know what I'm saying, we just gonna work. That's all I can say. My mom always used to tell me, I can show you better than I can tell you. And I'm gonna always say it. I'm gonna always say it, because it's all truth into that. Y'all take it easy.